Education Taiwan, President, immediate past presidents and vice president, and all participants from Federation of Myanmar Engineering Society. Good afternoon to all of you. It's 1 p.m. in now. Therefore, let me start the program. Firstly, I would like to announce the program agenda as the following. Agenda 1, announcements of opening the ceremony. Agenda 2, opening speech by Mr. Kimangde, President of FED-MES. Agenda 3, introduction to Dr. Manny Liu by MC. Agenda 4, presence of beginner guideline for evaluators and assessments of engineering education accreditation part 1 by Dr. Manny Liu. Agenda 5, coffee breaks 10 minutes. Agenda 6, lecture on beginner guideline for evaluator and assessment of engineering education accreditation part 2 by Dr. Manny Liu. Agenda 7, question and answer session. Agenda 8, conferment of appreciation card by Mr. Kim Mangde, President of FED-MES. Agenda 9, closing remark by Mr. Kim Mangde, President of FED-MES. Agenda 10, end of webinar. According to the Agenda 1, I would like to announce that our webinar starts now. And according to the Agenda 2, I would like to respectfully invite the President of FED-MES, Mr. Kim Mangde, to deliver the opening remarks.
Good afternoon. Distinguished guests, esteemed IEET experts, Institutes of Engineering Education Taiwan experts, colleagues, and participants. It is with great pleasure and profound gratitude that I welcome you all to the pivotal knowledge sharing and capacity building sessions hosted here at MES Academy. Today, we gather to embark on an enriching journey aimed at enhancing our understanding and skills in a critical area, engineering education accreditation. We are exceptionally fortunate to have with us today esteemed experts from Institutes of Engineering Education Taiwan, whose expertise and dedication to excellence in engineering education are unparalleled. Your willingness to share your knowledge and insight with us is not just appreciated, it is foundational to our future success. The focus of today's sessions, beginners, evaluators, and assessors for engineering education accreditation, is of paramount importance as we stand on the cusp of major educational reforms and advancements in Myanmar. The roles of skills evaluators and assessors cannot be overstated. They ensure the maintenance of high standards and the continuous improvements of our engineering programs, aligning them with international benchmarks. This training will equip our future evaluators and assessors with the necessary tools and knowledge to perform their roles effectively, ensuring that MES Academy and indeed all engineering institutions in Myanmar meet global standards and produce great graduates who are not only competent but also innovative and ready to tackle the engineering challenges of tomorrow. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the IEET for their collaboration in making this events possible. To all participants, I encourage you to engage deeply asked questions and take full advantage of the expertise being offered. The knowledge you gain today is vital not just for your professional growth, but for the advancement of our entire educational ecosystem. Thank you again, once again, to anybody present. Let us make the sessions a cornerstones for future collaborations and a stepping stone towards achieving excellence in engineering education. Let the sessions begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kimandi, the President of FED-MES, for the opening remark. And according to the Agenda 3, I would like to introduce Dr. Mandy Liu by MC. Dr. Mandy Liu, current position 2004 to present, Deputy Executive Director of the Accreditation Council and Office Director IET. And then previous position 2001 to 2004 Research Associate, American Association of Medical College, AAMC, Washington, D.C., USA. Education of Ms. Dr. 2001 Ph.D. in Higher Education Policy and Management, Colmore Graduate University, USA. And then international call related experience. 2023 to present, Chair Sydney Accord. 2021 to 2023, Deputy Chair Sydney Accord. 2018, panel member was WA Verification Review Team to CACI, Mexico. 2004 to present, IET main contact window to the International Engineering Alliance. And then, according to the Agenda 4, I would like to invite Dr. Mandy Liu to present about beginner guideline for evaluators and assessments of engineering education accreditation part 1.
President, colleagues, and we have colleagues here at MES Academy, as well as we have many colleagues online. Good afternoon. It is my privilege to be here and share with you some guidelines about accreditation of engineering education, as well as some basic concepts of outcomes-based education. I'm here with my boss, Professor Liang Zhenlu, who will be presenting our slides for the second part of our slides. So please allow me to share with you some of the information about accreditation of engineering education. Our guidelines, our workshop today will be information sharing about some introduction of IET, our organization. Many of you might be familiar with Myanmar Engineering Council. IET and Myanmar Engineering Council are colleagues under the international accords. I will be sharing information with you about that a little bit later. And then the second item that we will be sharing with you is about global recognition of engineering degrees. This will provide you information why we do accreditation. accreditation. Eventually, the accreditation is to achieve the aims of engineer mobility of our students, and then also our young engineers down the road. So the first two parts will be delivered by me, and then the third part is about some basic concepts of OBE, outcomes-based education. I think many of you are familiar with the term OBE, but in terms of how are the concepts be connected to teaching and learning, as well as assessment of students, and also what does OBE has to do with accreditation of engineering education. This will be the information we share in the third part of our workshop today. The last part will be the accreditation criteria and guidelines. Today we will be our first opportunity to share with you about the accreditation criteria and guidelines from IEET. Just to provide a heads up, IET's accreditation criteria and guidelines are somewhat similar to the ones of EEAC at Myanmar Engineering Council, because we are all governed under the international accords. Taken together, these four parts of information that we will be sharing with you, hopefully they provide a introduction to you here at the MES Academy, as well as those colleagues online, information, the basic information about what we do in the as an accreditation agency. And then for you who are professors, lecturers at the educational programs, hopefully this information will help you to understand if your programs are going to be participating in the accreditation process of the Myanmar Engineering Council. How do you go about preparing for them? So firstly about IET. IET is an accreditation agency. And then similar to Myanmar Engineering Council, we are doing accreditation on programs. We don't do accreditation for individuals. It's not for departments and not institutions either. So primarily, we are focusing on program accreditation, not the academic qualification of individuals. We are not also doing accreditation of the departments, because departments, they, for example, in Taiwan, our academic units are organized around the departments. The unit is departments, but there could be several programs under departments. And for institution, we are also an accreditation agency for program accreditation only. There are some other organizations, for example, in Taiwan, they are doing accreditation for institutions. But for us and for Myanmar Engineering Council, we are doing accreditation on programs. So what is program accreditation? This slide, I borrow it from Professor Bulan Osguler, who is the deputy chair of Washington Accord. Educational accreditation is a process of quality assurance. So eventually, the reason for us to conduct accreditation of programs is because we want to promote, elevate, and eventually achieve quality programs, so that program accreditation serves as a gatekeeper for quality assurance of the program. It is the act of certifying whether an educational institution or program meets specified requirements of academic achievements, level of facilities, appropriateness of curriculum, and the like. And Professor Liu, my boss, who will be presenting later on, he will be presenting outcomes-based education and assessment, as well as accreditation systems. Outcomes-based accreditation primarily assess whether the graduates is the outcomes of our academic programs. Is the product, our product. Well, the outcomes-based accreditation is to assess whether the program meets the defined expectations called outcomes or attributes. So in the service sector of education, there are institutional accreditation, as I mentioned earlier, and program accreditation activities. But for IET and Myanmar Engineering Council, we focus mostly on program accreditation, which is a much closer look at a specific program through the eyes of peer experts on that type of program. So throughout the accreditation process, we are inviting peers of the programs to conduct evaluation of the program. And then we are through the process that we take is we take it from an outcomes-based approach, and we are looking at the outcomes of the program, which means the students, whether the students have the kind of knowledge, skills, or attitudes that the program set out to achieve. So that's pretty much the process for a program accreditation. As I mentioned earlier, accreditation is about the quality assurance. But then, mind you that very important, a very important concept is that the accreditation itself is a voluntary process. It's not mandated by the ministry or any organizations, especially the government organizations. It's primarily a voluntary process. So it's an act from the program or from the institution that the programs choose to do accreditation. It's not required to do accreditation. So it's a voluntary process involving a program to encourage high standards of education. So accreditation indicates that, for example, in IET's perspectives, it judges the program in a manner consistent with the agency's standard. So what are the agency's standards? That will be a series of criteria. For example, at IET, we have 8 criteria that we use to evaluate a program against. And the process is to make sure that the program offers its students on a satisfactory level of the educational opportunities implied in its objectives. And we want to make sure that it's likely to continue to do so. The word continue to do so is also very important because eventually accreditation is to make sure that the program is able to continue to improve upon the weakness or the deficiencies identified throughout the accreditation process. So the first, if you will, the purpose for accreditation is about the quality assurance of the program. But then eventually, if we say who will be benefiting from the accreditation process, of course, that will be the graduates of the program. So accreditation is eventually to achieve the international mobility of professionals. So as you can see from my slides here, the accreditation process is to achieve a status where the graduates from substantially equivalent program A and B are able to proceed to further professional development toward substantial equivalent professional competency level. And then eventually the graduates will be able to move around in the international the different countries to practice their profession. So overall, accreditation is to achieve these two main primarily purpose. First of all is quality assurance, and the other one is to achieve international mobility of professionals. So at IET is a bit different organization than the others. Our full name is Institute of Engineering Education Taiwan, and then we are a pure accreditation agency. We don't do anything else, actually. We are just an accreditation agency. But we do accreditation on engineering education. But we don't do engineering education alone. We also do accreditation of computing education, technology education, architectural education, as well as design education. IET was established in 2003, and then starting from 2004, we launched the accreditation system. So we started out as an engineering education accreditation agency. It's focused on four-year degree programs, four-year degree, bachelor degree programs. All of the bachelor degree programs in Taiwan are 4 years, except for architectural education. Architectural education is 5 years. And of course, medical education is longer. But then, for example, Professor Lee, my boss here, he is currently chairing as the serving as the chair for Canberra Court, and I'm chairing the senior court. So we started out as an accreditation agency for engineering education programs, and later on, by 2009, we achieved the signatory status in the Seoul Court, which is a computing and IT related educational accords. And then also we do technology education accreditation. In this area, we separate that out into two parts. The first part is on engineering technologies education that will correspond to senior court. And then we also do other fields, other disciplines. But those parts does not have international accord that can be corresponded to. Architectural education is another area that we do accreditation on, and then design education. But then the reason earlier I mentioned that IET is a bit different organization than the others, because if you look at most of the accreditation agencies in the world, they probably do engineering education, they do computing education, but they rarely do architectural education. So architectural education accreditation mostly are done by some other organizations, like here in Myanmar, you might separate the accreditation agencies out into different societies or different organizations. But in Taiwan, IET, we conduct accreditation for these 5 disciplines. And since 2003, after IET was established, I think actually at the time within Taiwan, we have different organizations, or even the Ministry of Education was taking a lead in terms of conducting evaluation of educational programs. So why IET? What's the purpose for IET's existence? I think start at the outset, IET was aiming for international mobility of engineers. In order to achieve the international mobility of engineers, as well as the quality assurance of programs, IET was established. So the first and foremost goal of IET was to achieve international recognition. So early on, our first goal, I still remember I came back to Taiwan in 2004, and then I started out on August 1st, 2004. So it's been 20 years now. And our goal was very clearly at the outset that we want to achieve signatory membership in the Washington Accord. So by 2005, we became a provisional member of the Washington Accord. And then in 2007, we achieved a signatory membership. And later on, as I mentioned earlier, we became signatory of the Seoul Accord and then the Sydney Accord in 2014. In 2020, we became a signatory of the Canberra Accord. And very recently, last year, we became a full member of NI. NI is an European network of accreditation agencies on engineering education. So over the 20 years period of time, we have achieved the international status, which is very important because throughout this process, we have been able to help our academic programs to be recognized internationally, and most importantly, is to achieve the international mobility of the graduates from those accredited programs. Again, here you will see that IET not only conducting accreditation internally in Taiwan. Of course, I didn't put those information here, but some of the Chinese programs actually have been participating in IET accreditation. But then here is just to show you our membership in the 4 accords, as well as our leadership role. IET has been very active in the international arena. For example, we have been working with Myanmar since 2013, officially in 2013. But then actually, my first time to Myanmar was in 2009, very early on. So I'm serving as the chair for Senior Accord. Professor Lee, my boss, who is serving as the chair for Canberra Accord. And many years ago, one of our Deputy Secretary General was also serving, Professor Andrew Wo was also serving as the chair for Washington Accord. In the meantime, since 2013, IET is the secretariat for Seoul Accord. And this is a slide to just show you our very recent development in our international in our international endeavors and activities. Professor Liu and I, we went to Paris to participate in NI's annual meeting. At that time, we applied and successfully admitted as a full member of NI member. For NI, maybe some of you are familiar with NI, some of you may not, but just let me introduce NI to you very quickly. It's a European network for accreditation of engineering education. It's a different, it's a little bit different from the Washington Accord. Washington Accord, which I will show you in very soon, that it has 25 members, but most of the members are not European countries. But then NI, most of the members, of course, are from European countries. And the reason for IET to become an NI full member, eventually, of course, we are hoping that our accredited programs and their graduates will be recognized by European countries. And currently, there are 22 full members of NI, and then among the full members, some of the members may not have the right to issue the European level, the Euro ACE labels, but then NI is recognized in 4,000 degrees in over 60 countries. That's why IT wishes to become a full member and be able to issue the label as soon as possible so that our academic programs, IT accredited programs, can benefit from that. So IT is also serving as the mentor for Myanmar Engineering Council. But then we were talking earlier this morning that actually our collaboration with Myanmar started out from Myanmar Engineering Society. That was very early on that we started out. And then once the Myanmar Engineering Council was established, our collaboration was mostly directed with the council, but then we continue to maintain relationship with MES. And this morning we signed an MOU for the MES Academy, which will be a further initiative for our future collaboration. In addition to Myanmar, IT is also a mentor for Thailand, COET, Council of Engineers, Thailand. Both Myanmar Engineering Council and Council of Engineers, Thailand, became a provisional member of the Washington Accord, and hopefully both organizations will be advanced to the Washington Accord as soon as possible. And very recently, we also worked with Saudi Arabia. They invited IET to serve as their mentor for Washington Accord as well as for Seoul Accord applications. And this is just an overview of IET's visit to Myanmar since 2013. Again, my first visit to Myanmar was in 2009, but then starting from 2013, we have a more structured collaboration with Myanmar. And then I think that was the time when Myanmar Engineering Societies was helping out to initiate those accreditation related activities. So over time, actually, if we look back, we can understand how all these endeavors has came about, and then how much Myanmar has come through to arrive at today's status in terms of accreditation of programs. So as we mentioned earlier in this morning at our MOU signing ceremony, that Professor Liu and I think I can speak speak on behalf of Professor Liu as well as the entire IET, that IET has been very, very pleased and proud to be the process to be involved in Myanmar's development of engineering education accreditation as well as the recognition of future engineers. The second part will be global recognition of engineering degrees, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, but then I will just go deeper into those information with you. I shared with you in previous slides about Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, Seoul Accord, and Canberra Accord, as well as NI. But if you look at the bigger picture of the worldwide, there's also a Dublin Accord. And earlier, I chat with members of Myanmar Engineering Council and as well as Myanmar Engineering Societies. Actually, I think Myanmar is not only interested in the membership of Washington Accord, it's also interested in Sydney Accord as well as Dublin Accord. And in the future, for example, Seoul Accord or Canberra Accord. So this is an overview of the different accords, and it provides you information about the scale of each accord, and then also the discipline. Each of these accords directs at different disciplines. And so based on this slide, that you can get an overview of the different accreditation networks, if you will, or different accords, if you will, about the development. And for example, Washington Accord was developed very early on. Since it's a court, we should use the word signed. The accord was not established. Sorry about that. I should not put established. It should be signed. Washington Accord was signed in 1989. And then you will see, for example, Seoul Accord was later on 2008. Canberra Accord was also 2008. Washington Accord is an agreement among signatories accrediting agencies that criteria, policies, and procedures for accrediting engineering academic programs. So it's very different. As I said earlier, each accords, they direct at very specific discipline. So Washington Accord is on engineering academic programs, and it's for academic programs providing the educational foundation for the practice of engineering at the professional level. Students are expected to be able to solve complex engineering problems by graduation. Professor Lee will share with you about the concepts of outcomes-based education later. We are looking at, in order for example, Myanmar Engineering Council to be admitted as Washington Accord signatories, the Washington Accord will look at Myanmar Engineering Council and then determine whether the council is able to make judgments, make decisions to see whether the graduates of accredited programs are meeting the outcomes required by the Washington Accord. So you will see there's a logo from Washington Accord if any of the signatories that are full signatories of the Washington Accord, it has the right to use this logo. For example, IET, we could use this logo on IET certificate to accredited programs, and our accredited programs can use the logo to promote themselves as well. As of June 2024, Washington Accord has 25 full members, full signatory. We called it signatory rather than member. And then originally there were 6 founding signatories, but later on, very quickly, actually, we have grown to 25 signatories already. And then there were 6 provisional members, including Myanmar Engineering Council. Taken together, Washington Accord recognized over 8,000 programs in total. So among the 25 signatories, each year we need to submit a list of accredited programs to Washington Accord. So based on those numbers, the Secretariat will collect those information, and then as June of 2024, Washington Accord recognized over 8,000 programs. And of course, they're graduates. And for Senior Accord concerns not the academic programs at the professional level, rather the Senior Accord specifically focused on academic program dealing with engineering technology. I'm sure in Myanmar as well as in many other countries, in fact, the labor in our societies, maybe we need more engineering technologists rather than professional engineer. So this should be an important part of our quality assurance mechanism as well. So students at the Senior Accord level are expected to be able to solve broadly defined engineering problems versus the complex problems that the Washington Accord requires. So Senior Accord has its own logo as well. But senior core compared to Washington Accord, senior Accord is rather a lot smaller. Washington Accord has 25 signatories, but senior Accord at this point we have only 11 signatories. But then there are a couple of countries that are interested in participating in senior Accord. So I am currently chairing the Accord, and I'm working with a number of upcoming countries to achieve their membership in the Accord. Starting from 2001, we have six founding signatories, and then the newest member of the Accord is Board of Engineers, Malaysia. And currently, we have two provisional members. One is from Peru, ICASIT, and the other one is from IESL. And hopefully, Myanmar Engineering Council would consider membership in the senior Accord in the future. And by this year, we recognize just about 850 programs among our 11 signatories. And for Dublin Accord, it concerns about the qualification at the engineering technicians level. Students are expected to be able to solve well-defined engineering problems. So by now, you are pretty much have the information that Washington Accord, the expectations is that the students recognized by Washington Accord should be able to solve complex problems. And for senior Accord, the students are expected to solve broadly defined problems. And for Dublin Accord, the students are expected to solve well-defined problems. So there's very distinct differentiation among the three accords. It focuses on different level of the future professionals. Dublin Accord, it's a little bit smaller than the senior Accord. It has nine signatories, and there's no provisional signatory at this point. But each of our accords, we have our own logo that can be issued to the accreditation agency as well as the agency's accredited programs. So just a comparison, for Washington Accord, the level of problems to be solved by the students should be at the level of complex problems. So in order to achieve that, typically the education, the study programs requires to be 4 to 5 years of study. In Taiwan, we are all 4-year education. I know in some other parts of the world may be a little bit different. But for senior Accord, the students are expected to solve broadly defined problems. So typically, the length of education is 3 to 4. In Taiwan, we are all 4-year degree programs. We don't have 3-year degree programs anymore. But then, for example, in Malaysia, in Australia, in South Africa, in some other parts of the world as well, the program at the senior Accord level is typically 3-year degree programs. And for Dublin Accord, is the students are supposed to be able to solve well-defined problems. And the length of study is required at the 2 to 3 years of study time. So this slide just give you a summary of the difference between the three accords. And then if we look at Washington Accord, Senior Accord, Dublin Accord, we are all under the umbrella of International Engineering Alliance. But then within the alliance, there's also 4 engineer agreements: APAC Engineer, International Professional Engineers, International Engineering Technologist, International Engineering Technician. So basically, the education accords, for example, Washington Accord serves as the level for academic qualifications for APAC engineer and international professional engineer, whereas senior core is the basis the basis for academic qualifications for international engineering technologist. And then Dublin Accord is the basis for education for international engineering technician. That's why the 4 accords, three educational accords, and the 4 engineer agreements, we are working together to make sure that our future engineers or our future engineering professions, they meet the academic qualification as well as the professional competencies that are required to be recognized under the alliance. So in order to judge substantial equivalence, we are actually looking at the accreditation agency's criteria, policies, and procedures. We need to make sure that among the 25 signatories, for example, each one of our organization, we can have our own accreditation system. But then our own accreditation system needs to meet the requirements of the Washington Accord. So our criteria, our policies and procedures need to be verified, comparable among ourselves. And then the decisions we made should be acceptable to other signatories. The decisions means that the decision for accreditation, whether we accredit a program or not, those process and those outcomes should be acceptable by other signatories. And of course, the most important ones are our graduate attributes. Our requirements for student outcomes should be substantially equivalent to the other signatories. And in order to achieve that, Washington Accord, Senior Accord, and Dublin Accord, we have a set of guidelines. We call it graduate attributes. A list of graduate attributes that students must possess at the end of study. We use that to judge whether a particular accreditation agency is meeting the requirements of the accords. So some of the our programs in Taiwan, they might think about think once, twice, or 3 times about participating in accreditation because they might think, well, we are very good already, and we are able to recruit a sufficient number of students. Why we need accreditation? I mean, if you look at, for example, American systems, here is some information from Cornell because Professor Lee is a alumni of Cornell University. So Professor Lee shared with me of this information. In America, accreditation is a very common thing for all of the institutions or most of the qualified programs. They continue to participate in accreditation process. In America, ABET is the organization that does accreditation for engineering programs. So for Cornell, programs like Cornell, it's a well-known, internationally well-known university and programs. They continue to participate in accreditation process. They are even proud of their outcomes, their accreditation decisions. So we share this information with the programs in Taiwan that programs like in Cornell, they are willing to participate in accreditation process. They are proud of being accredited by ABET, so that we use this information to encourage our programs in Taiwan that accreditation is a international trend, and then it's a responsible act of the program to show its stakeholders that it has commitment on quality, and it will continue to make that commitment evident. So there are just a couple of samples, if you will, that I will share with you here. That who are the ones care about accreditation? Parents, for example, many programs in Taiwan, they are working very hard to recruit students, not only students from Taiwan, but also international students. But for a parent from foreign countries, he or she would definitely care about accreditation, because he or she would like his child or his children come back to their own country, and then the academic qualification could be recognized in that country. So we get calls from parents from time to time. And of course, we get calls from the graduates themselves. And if they get a degree from Taiwan and they go back to their countries, and they are not, because when you are a student, you probably are not aware of accreditation at all. But once you are entering the professional, entering the career life, then you become, you are aware of the need for accreditation. And of course, we get calls from foreign accreditation agencies. And also, I think in addition, we also get calls from company. And then our programs, when they are establishing exchange programs with foreign universities, accreditation also is a very useful tools to make sure to let their foreign partners or foreign colleagues to realize the quality of the educational programs. And this is just another case that a Malaysian student contacted us, and then to double check the program that he is about to enroll is accredited or not. So especially for foreign students, this accreditation status of a program is essential, because eventually he would or she would hope that his diploma will be recognized in his or her own country. So once the program is accredited by IET, we will issue them a logo. As I mentioned to you, if a program is recognized under Washington Accord, we will also allow the program to use the Washington Accord logos. And these logos are very useful to the programs, and they are almost all of the programs accredited by IET will apply to IET for these logos, because they can use these logos on website. They can put this logo on their diploma to students. They can use this as a promotional tool for throughout. So, for example, for IET's certificate accreditation certificate to the program, we definitely will put IET's and Washington Accord or Sydney Accord's logos. And then for a university, they put IET's logo on top of the diploma, so that once the graduates, they go out to the job market, and if they need to share their, they need to submit their diploma for employment, the employer will recognize the logo immediately. So these are kind of useful tools for the academic programs to promote themselves. And then also now we are beginning to see programs, they put on their website information of their accreditation status. This doesn't happen in the past, because as I mentioned to you, IET was just 20 years old, and then we didn't have so-called international accreditation system before. This is very common in American university, for example, but nowadays we're seeing a lot of our programs, they put on their website to show that their program is accredited by IET. But then as an international, as a member of the international accords, we continue to improve ourselves. later on, Professor Liu will share with you about our accreditation status. We review our programs every 6 years. The programs is not once for all, it's accredited. It needs to be reviewed every 6 years. But for us, for IET, we are also reviewed by our international colleagues every 6 years. So this slide just show you the timing when IET was reviewed. For example, next year we will be very busy because we have 4 courses to review us all together in next year. So I think it's just about 1 hour time, and then we can take 10 minutes break at this point, and then later on, my boss, Professor Liu, will be sharing with you about the other 2 parts of the workshop. Thank you.
Coffee break, 10-minute rest. Starting to 2:10 p.m. Thank you. Let me start the program. Inviting Let me start the program. According to the Agenda 6, I would like to invite Dr. Mandy to present about beginner guidelines for evaluators and assessment of engineering education accreditation part 2.
Okay. Part two, I will be addressing the second part, including the basic concept of OBE and also our accreditation criteria and guideline. So the outcome based education, we call the OBE, and of course, according to this concept, outcome based approach. So now, as you can see, the left part, the International Engineering Alliance, they published a document called GAPC, which means Great Attributes and Professional Competency. Now I think 2021 is the version 4, and this GAPC version 4 is supported by WFIL and UNESCO. Of course, this document, there are two parts. The first part is concerned with the great attributes, which of course is about how we educate our students in the university. And the second part is regarding professional competency. And these are the ability, engineers should have. So I think, so one great attribute are related to our students, and then the professional competency are related to professional engineers. Based on this outcome-based approach, it says that the faculty member and the program administrator must have full understanding of outcome-based education or outcome-based approach, and conduct the actual assessment and evaluation periodically to demonstrate the degree of attainment of program outcome. So it means that we should be focusing on how to assess the student outcome. But maybe you will be a little bit confused. Student outcome is not so specific. So what do you mean by student outcome, right? About program outcome. Okay, being a professor, when you deliver a course and you ask students to write a report, you prepare an exam and so on. So this, and then you look at the student report and you grade the student exam paper. So you see the outcome. So the outcome can be, have a different aspect. So from starting from a course, and then during the 4 year study, a student may already take, say, 40 to 50 courses, and then accumulate until graduation. Then we say the grad attributes. So when we say grad attributes, is upon graduation, the student possess this kind of abilities. So it's very important when we say the grad attributes is, like maybe the final year student, and we want to assess the ability, and those ability we call the grad attributes. And the definition of OBE, arrived from a book written by William Spady in 1995. I call outcomes-based education, critical issues. And I think the main point is that with any lecture, any course, we should start, we should, the student knows that we have what is the, what will be the outcomes, at the end of the course. So we need to let the student know the purpose of this course, what kind of abilities, what kind of skill, what kind of knowledge will be delivered, in this course. And then, so I mean, a professor should tell the student the end of the semester, and then I would like to expect what kind of knowledge, skill, that you want you will learn. And then according to this goal, he can organize the curriculum, and then to design the activity and so on. And of course, you need to use assessment, different assessment tools to make sure, the goal or the abilities a student already achieved. Okay, so assessment is always very important to know the student learn the subject. Okay, so based on this approach, before we maybe talking about the input. So when department chair say, okay, I have a 50 faculty member, I have what kind of resources, how many books in the library, what kind of equivalent in my department. Okay, that's fine, but I think we don't, but according to outcome-based education, they are not so important. We are trying to demonstrate our student, with enough, abilities, what we call the great attributes. And then we also can show evidence, our alumni, meaning after graduation for maybe 3 to 5 years, it can attain what we call a program educational objectives. So great attributes, they are the abilities, a student need to achieve, upon graduation. But for the program educational objective, I think they are associated with the alumni after graduation for 3 to 4 years. So I always say that we have a short-term goal, which is the purpose of a course, and we have a midterm goal, which is the graduate attributes, and we have a long-term goal. This means a program educational objective. So we start from a course, and then accumulate to the end of the final years, and we achieve the graduate attributes. And after graduation for say 3 to 5 years, so hopefully our alumni can achieve program educational objective that we decided, because we need to set up our program educational objective. However, for the great attributes, maybe we being an accreditation agency like IEET, Actually, of course, we have criteria, for graduate attributes, and then the program seeking our accreditation need to follow our graduate attributes we define, because we define our graduate attributes according to international accrual. So this means that the program cannot have much freedom to define their own graduate attribute. They should follow the graduate attributes are defined by IEET, because IEET graduate attributes is compliant with the international accord. However, for the program educational objective, I think a program has flexibility to define its own program educational objective. Okay, and the GAPC, as in the following is the definition and scope from Professor Bullen. It says that, the graduate attributes form a set of individually accessible outcomes that are the components indicative of the graduate potential to acquire competence to practice at the appropriate level. The attributes are clear, succinct statement of the expected capability. So anyway, so I just want to emphasize the graduate attributes are a kind of ability or expected capabilities before graduation. I mean, the final year student, we expect the final year student to possess this kind of ability we call a graduate attribute. So the graduate attribute, they are needed to prepare, the future engineers, right? Okay, so the graduate attribute identify the distinctive role of engineers, technologists, and the technicians. So this means for engineers, technologists, and the technician, they require different graduate attributes. Of course, for the engineer, we have a Washington core. For the technologist, we have a senior core, and for technician, there's associate W core. So different core, they have a different graduate attributes. Okay, and for professional competency profile record, the element of competency necessary for competent performance that the professional is expected to be able to demonstrate in a holistic way at the stage of attending registration. So registration meaning, we have a registration, registered engineer, licensed engineer, right? So they must be possessing that kind of competency for professional engineers. The graduate attributes versus program educational objectives, as I just mentioned, that you see the freshman, the sophomore, junior, the senior, right? So they are say a 4-year education. So each year you take some courses, and each course, cultivate some graduate attributes. So after 4 years or 5 years, and then I think you will get the graduate attributes that the program define. Okay, so and so upon graduation, we call the graduate attributes. So at the time of graduation, we hopefully our student, with the knowledge, skill, and attitude, to prepare them for the for being future engineers. And the program educational objective, meaning, after graduation, for 3 to 5 years, and then we would like them to achieve some professional level. Okay, so let's see, there are some example here. Okay, so and this slide shows that how the mapping between the graduate attributes and the professional competency between 3 educational accrual and the 4, you can say, professional engineer or technician, technologist accrual. Okay, agreement, they call agreement. So Washington Accord is related to AP engineer agreement. and International Professional Engineers Agreement. And the senior accord is mapped to International Engineering Technologies Agreement. And doubling accord is associated with International Engineering Technician Agreement. So the right side we call the agreement. There are 4 agreements, and the left side there are 3 educational accord. Okay. So it means that in order to be a member of International Professional Engineers Agreement, like Myanmar Engineering Council, also would like to become a member of International Professional Engineers Agreement. And then, before that, it should become a member of Washington Accord first, okay? Because once your program got accredited, by Myanmar Engineering Council, and if the council is a member of Washington Accord, then it can be, accept to be International Professional Engineer Agreement member. Okay, so I think there are some sequence, yeah, okay. But of course, yesterday I remember Zhou Ming asked, can the Myanmar Engineering Council staff from the provisional member, even for International Professional Engineer Agreement? I think it's okay, because for provisional member, right, you can, it should be okay. You can start from the provisional member. And okay, I think so. This slide show clearly. I think for a student, I think you take many courses. So each course is to cultivate some graduate attributes. So from the first year, second year, third year to the final year, I think the graduate attributes are kind of accumulated, right? So before, I think maybe back to maybe 15 years ago, in Taiwan, some department, they assess the graduate attributes for each course, But I think it doesn't make too much sense, because what important is that we want to know whether our students achieve the graduate attributes in the final years. Because during the process from the first year, second year, third year, and the fourth year, we expect the level of achievement will be increasing a little bit. So, but it doesn't make not much sense. We evaluate the graduate attributes each year or for each course. So we would like to evaluate at the end of the final year, okay? And normally through design course, like capstone design project. Okay, and then in the final year, we need to evaluate, assess the student graduate attributes. Okay, and then as I said, those graduate attributes are needed for them to become a professional engineers. Okay, and then for the alumni, we would like to assess what we call the PEO, program educational objectives. Okay, so you can see starting from a course, and then it's short term, and then to the final year, we call the graduate attribute, and then after graduation for 3 to 5 years, we call the program educational objective, which is a long-term goal. Also, short-term, mid-term to the long-term goal, okay, a course, and then graduate attribute, and then the PEO. I think it's quite, the concept is quite clear. And so this slide shows a sample of a program educational objective for a civil engineering program. There are 4 items here. Okay, and the reason that we should itemize the PEO, because some program they just write a paragraph, so put together. I think the drawback of putting together all the program educational objective is that it's not easier to do the survey, because we want to do the survey, to our alumni and also to the employer. Why we want to do the survey? We want to know the level of achievement of our alumni for each of the 4 items. Okay, so if we can itemize maybe, okay, the first item, the anonymous say, okay, the achievement is fine, but the second, maybe I'm not so good, okay, and so on. So I think that we can itemize each PEO is easier for us to do the survey. So like we have a 4 item here. So the first one, function successfully in a professional environment by utilizing and enhancing their problem solving and communication skills. And the second, continual learning through a graduate or other professional education and obtaining licensure where appropriate. And number three, function in team-oriented, multidisciplinary, open-ended engineering activity, considering the social and economic impact of engineering decisions and the professional and ethical responsibility of civil engineers. And the final one, promote organizational success with consideration of cost and time management while practicing and promoting ethical behavior and stewardship of a sustainable environment. Okay, so these are just one of the example showing the program educational objective. Of course, different program they can provide different PEO, or they can write its own PEO. Okay, so and then and this slide show our criteria. Number three, regarding the grade attributes. So because we have a 5 area of accreditation, not only engineering, but this EAC is for engineering program. So 3.1 to 3.8. So you can take a look. Apply knowledge of mathematics, science, and engineering, design, and conduct experiment, as well as to analyze and interpret data, apply technique skill and a modern tool necessary for engineering practice, design an engineering system, component, or process, manage project, communicate effectively, work in multidisciplinary environment, and function on team, and identify, formulate research literature. Also, research literature meaning you make use of literature, not the research. I mean, it's different, okay? Because for the bachelor student, you don't expect they can do research. So, a research literature meaning you read the literature, and analyze and solve complex engineering problem, reaching sustainable conclusion, and knowledge of contemporary issues and understanding of the impact of engineering solution in the environmental, sustainability, social good, and a global context, and the ability and the habit to engage in the lifelong learning. And for the final one, apply ethical principle and commit to professional and information ethics and responsibilities and the norms of engineering practice and a sense of respect of diversity. So those great attributes you can see cover a lot of different things, including knowledge, skills, attitude, and so on. And IT actually, how come we have this great attribute, as I mentioned? Because for the Washington Accord, they already define, those great attributes for every signatory of Washington Accord need to follow. Okay, so those are, so if you look at other countries, if they are Washington Accord signatory, so pretty much they are the same. Pretty much they are the same. And then a program need to refer to this set of grade attributes to define the program grade attributes. Okay, so basically they need to include those grade attributes. Of course, they can write more. They can have other, layer of feature and so on. So it's quite different if you compare program educational objectives and you compare with the graduate attribute, they are quite different. Graduate attributes are quite detailed, and program education objective are kind of like a summary of the achievement. Okay, only three to five items, and the item is very put into a very simple way. But for the graduate attribute, they are quite detailed. They are quite detailed. And all the graduate must possess all the program educational objective. So it means that, okay, it means that, okay, for a program, you only want to cover the first six graduate attributes. You don't want to cover the number 7, number 8. So you cannot do this way. So you cover all the graduate attributes. So it means that, you are expecting your student upon graduation have this kind of graduate attributes. Okay, of course, you need to check the level of achievement, okay, through capstone design project, and also you can do the survey for the graduate. So all the graduate. The reason to emphasize all the graduate, because when we do the PEO, we do the survey. Say, okay, out of the, say, you said that with the survey, it will be done to the alumni already graduate for 3 to 5 years. Let's say, okay, those alumni, maybe we have 300. We only maybe take only 50 sample, okay? So not all the alumni do the survey, okay? But for the grade attributes assessment, it should be done to all final year students, okay? Not doing only some percentage of the student, okay? Should be carry out a survey to all the graduate students and all the final year students, and all the final year students should take the capstone design project. Okay, so the program must be clear when these great attributes were assessed. Like you say, okay, the capstone design project maybe in the second semester of the third year, or maybe the first semester of the last year. Okay, so this is time, you carry out the capstone design project, and also maybe you have the survey to the final year student. Maybe is the final semester and so on. So what kind of method was taken to assess? I think I already mentioned. One is the capstone design project, and then the second one is the survey to the final year student. So in IET, there are two methods to assess the student graduate attribute. One is capstone design project, and the second one is survey to those final year students. And then number 3, what are the standards? Okay, standard meaning kind of like a criteria, or so we use the rubrics. So rubric meaning, you need to describe the level of achievement for grading for each grade attribute. So we call the rubrics. Okay, so they perform, within what kind of level, and then you say you get 80 points. Okay, and so on. So this we call the rubrics. And of course, a program only need to prepare a set of rubrics. So it means that maybe this year I have this I lecture this capstone design project, and next year another professor lecture this capstone design project. But they use the same rubrics also. And then the number 4, if a student could not meet the standards, so any measure was taken. So maybe you can say, okay, they need to take the capstone design project again, or you have other ask them to do something else. Okay. Okay. So if we say, okay, some grade attribute maybe is not perform well, so we maybe take a look. This there's a table showing all the courses, how they are related to our program graduate attributes. So normally we would expect each graduate attributes there are at least maybe 2 to 3 courses. Okay, so if you look at this slide, so you can see well even for number 5 there are 2 courses. I think this should be okay. Yeah. And then the graduate attributes must be shown in syllabus for each course. Of course, I think this table shows the capstone design project. And then, of course, we are expecting, this course will be associated with all the graduate attributes. But for compulsory professional courses, we have a course portfolio. So you mean it's a mandatory course and it's a professional course. So we will ask our program to prepare a course portfolio and containing the following material. The first one is the syllabus. And then if we have an exam paper, midterm, final, and so on, so we ask 6 sample. That can be just scan the exam paper. And why 6? Maybe 2 with better grade, and then 2 are maybe the middle one, and 2 are poor. Okay, so with these 6 samples, a review evaluator can take a look at what kind of exam problem, right? The professor gave, and then you look at this paper, got 90 points, so you can see the grading and so on, right? So we would like a program to prepare 6 sample for like midterm or final exam, and then. Finally, we would like to ask the program to prepare what we call a feedback, feedback of teaching at the end of the semester. So the feedback of teaching, like this form, this table show, okay. So I think the maybe important thing is that we need to know the corresponding graduate attributes, maybe a number 2 and a number 3 and so on, okay. Because each course should be mapped to corresponding graduate attribute, maybe 2 graduate attribute or 3 graduate attribute and so on. And then the important one is you need to write something about the achievement of the graduate attributes, because the assessment method, is before they are doing accreditation, if they have some way to assess the student performance. So we don't like to change. So maybe you have the exam, you have the report, you have the project, and so on. So I think the professor can keep his own way to do the assessment. Okay, but we would like them to write something to reflect the achievement of a student regarding the graduate attributes. So for example, if this course is to cultivate a graduate attribute number 2 and number 3, okay? Number 2 and number 3. So instead of you giving some score, some grade for graduate attribute number 2, number 3, it's very difficult. How come you can get a graduate attribute number 2, 90 points, graduate number 3, 70 points? It's very difficult. All right. So we just let the professor to write something. Say, okay, according to those assessments, I find that graduate attribute number 2, the student performance is good, and then the graduate number 3 maybe is not good. Not good is because what kind of reason? And then next year maybe will do something to adjust so that they can be learn better regarding graduate attribute number 3 and so on. Okay, so this is the reflection from a professor regarding the associate graduate attributes, whether the student already learned or not learned. Okay, so if the level of achievement for these graduate attributes, you is not good, you need to write something, maybe next year, then you can consider to do some modification. Okay, and the final part is regarding accreditation criteria and guidelines. So this slide actually showing some very important criterion. So you can see the green one is the teaching, is the curriculum, and the teaching, that is very important. And then, the gray one is the assessment of student learning outcome. Okay, and then the purple one is regarding the reflection. So number three, number four, number five, they are regarding the course and the teaching and the assessment. Three, four, five. Okay, and number two is regarding the graduate attributes, right? So three, four, five. For one course, and then after a student, taking 40 to 50 courses, then can achieve the graduate attributes, which are we call the criteria number three. And then after graduation, we are expecting our alumni to achieve some goal. We call the program education objective, and so this is number one. So I think this kind of like and number six is regarding continuous improvement. In every aspect, Because, but I think in the university, of course, the continuous improvement mainly is for like teaching and for how we cultivate our student graduate attributes. Okay, and then there's a zero called advisory board, which is our criteria number eight regarding the continuous regarding the advisory board. So they are from industry expert or from other university. So maybe about say 6 to 10 board member. And then every year, then we can have this advisory board meeting, and then to give the program some suggestion to all aspects regarding the accreditation. Okay. Yeah. So this is the whole eight criteria in this slide. Number one is PEO, and number two is students. Number three, graduate attribute. Number four, curriculum and the teaching. Five, faculty. Six, space and the facility. Number seven, institutional support and financial resources. Number eight, continuous improvement. So the previous slide showing the most important four criteria, which is number one, number three, number four, and number eight. Also, 1, 3, 4, 8. We consider these four are the most important ones. Okay, PEO, graduate attributes, curriculum and teaching, and of course, the continuous improvement should be done regarding criteria number 1 to number 7. So when we say the reason we put the continuous improvement to be the final one, meaning from criteria number 1 to criteria number 7, if there are some improvement or some mechanism to discuss and so on, we should write in this criterion number 8. Okay, and the capstone, is to check the assessment, is check the level of achievement of our we call the C3 graduate attributes. So because the outcome-based education, upon graduation in the final year, I think we are very concerned with the achievement of our final year students, and this can be assessed by capstone design project, and we can assess, evaluate those great attributes through the outcome, through the performance of student when they perform the capstone design project. So for students, they can integrate, maybe 5 to 6 co-course to do this problem solving, project. And then they also know through this process, they understand the weakness, or maybe so they can maybe prepare the future. They can take some courses to strengthen the weakness and so on. And then for our faculty member who is in charge of the capstone design project, because he or she need to assess the student grade attributes. So this is very important. And then with this assessment, I think he or she can report to the program, because maybe we need to adjust our curriculum, and then based on the evaluation of this capstone design project. So I mean, so if you look at this slide, you can see clearly capstone design course is very, very important. Okay, from student, from the professor who is in charge of the capstone design project, even up to the level of the program. I think this course is beneficial from all aspects. And this course can assess not only the technical skill, like problem solving, like the ability to design, and also we can assess the soft skill, like teamwork, communication, project management, and lifelong learning. Okay, so I don't think we have other course have this kind of role to assess all kinds of student grade attributes. So I think the capstone design course are quite unique. Okay, and this table show you a table capstone design courses related to maybe they integrate 6 courses. And for each course, you can see the corresponding grade attribute, like course number 1, associated with grade attribute number 1 and number 3, and so on. So if we draw, we have this table, then you can see the capstone, this capstone design project. They are, it is associated with all the grade attributes. But if we can, but if this capstone design project is only integrate 3 courses, number 1, number 2, and number 3, I think you can, if this is only use 3 courses, and then the number 7 and number 8 cannot be mapped. I think this slide show the same information, but just put the 6 core course into the corresponding year. And then student need to provide a student outcome maybe in several different forms. Like we have maybe they are finished product, prototype, simulation, even a design call or some model, and then there are paper report, or maybe in the soft copy as well, and then there are some oral presentation and PowerPoint and so on. And at the end, maybe the program have a competition for them to make a presentation, and the faculty member can assess the student performance as well. And this table show how we use the capstone design project outcome to assess student grade attributes. Okay, so as you can see, suppose a program has 8 grade attributes. And this is a project regarding bridge design. And then for this project, you assign a proper weight, like 10%, 15%, and so on, for each grade attributes. And then at the end of the semester, you can give scores to each of the grade attributes, like number 1, 90, number 2, 80, and so on. Okay, so this is team A. And then if we can, grade each team. So team A is the first, the second column, and team B is third column, and so on. So let's say there are 60 students and 20 teams. So you have team A, team B, team C, and totally there are 20 teams. So you can take the average horizontally. You will find out that number 4, 68, and number 5, 72. So it means these two graduate attributes are not good enough. Okay. So once we have this grading, and then the professor who is in charge of the capstone design project can provide this result to the faculty meeting to see what we need to do next. So I think this is very important. We need to have some data, to show our maybe what kind of graduate attribute maybe are not enough. Okay, and then this sample from IEET, our year-round timelines. So we start from the August, we publish some accreditation menu, and then we are orientation workshop in September. In October, we kind of ask the program if they want to seeking our accreditation. And then we have the deadline for application. So starting from October to next March, and then we also have a workshop in the March for them, to update some material, or then maybe allow them to ask questions. So the July is very important. They need to submit the self-study report. And then August, we prepare the on-site visit. And from October to December, we will go to university. We send a review team to the university, to the program. And then the decision meeting will be in the following year, January. We have a decision meeting, and then the March, they will receive the statement, and then we will award the certificate in our General Assembly, normally in May. And then the program need to submit action plan according to our accreditation statement. Okay, and then normally we have, this is 6 years for one cycle, 6 year, one cycle. And so every 6 years we call a general review. And then if a program only gets 3 years, and then so after 3 years we call it interim review. So meaning 3 plus 3 complete a cycle, okay? So the general review meaning every 6 years, interim review normally I think is 3 years. And for general review, it takes 2 days, and interim review only 1 day, okay? And we have 3 evaluators, including the team chair for each program. And on top of each team, there's a convener, okay? Normally the former rector, normal rector. So like we go to a university with 5 programs. So 5 plus times 3, meaning 15 evaluator, and then plus a commander. And of course, our IT staff will be accompanying with the review team to the university, okay? And I think this just for your reference, the team member, of course, need to carry out the accreditation, to finalize the exit report according to our criteria. And team chair, of course, to coordinate the 2 team members together, okay? So it kind of a team should be one of the evaluator is the team chair. And the team commander is to, coordinate the 5 teams. Let's say there are 5 programs, okay? Because they need to check the consistencies of within the 5 teams, okay? Okay, and the training, we have different kind of training workshop for new evaluator, and the refresher training is we have every video. They can take a look. We have a team chair workshop, and also the commander, and we just finished the 2 new program evaluator training, and 2 team chair training, and 1 commander meeting, just maybe over the past one month. And this is regarding the accreditation file. We ask we have a sales study report, and we have evidence your visit schedule. Anyway, all those kind of material, we write a statement. We have an online system. Also, I think we would like our system to be a paperless, to be a sustainable. So everything, we are trying to do online without papers. Okay. So we have we call the AMS Accreditation Management System. I think the system was established about 10 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's quite robust. And then we have a team to maintain this management system. Okay, and then we have a yearly decision meeting, normally in January. And then this accreditation action, as I say, a cycle is 6 years. So I think the result will be a next general meeting, a next general review, NGR, meaning 6 years later, we will come again. And then interim review, meaning it got 3 years, okay? The interim review, 1 year. If a program doesn't prepare a good sales study report, we can just give 1 year, okay? And provisionally accredited, meaning there are no is new program without a graduate, okay? And then we are pending and not to accredited, meaning fail. Okay, and of course we have a appeal system, but only error in procedure or error in fact can can appeal. And we have a file logo for each commission, each area of accreditation. And of course, we ask the program to do the continuous improvement, to do the quality assurance. Our IET also should follow the same principle to do the continuous improvement. So our office, OED office with Mandy, we have a meeting with our staff, every week, and we have a feedback from the evaluator, from the convener, from the program, and also from the international reviewer every 6 years, and so on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Liu and Dr. Mandy, for valuable presentation. And according to question and answer session, please question and answer. Question made all participants.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for visiting Myanmar and giving us the information and very useful for our country for accreditation. So let me ask one question about the. Oh, sorry. I'm Dr. Aung Lim Wu, and I'm the one of the leader of the private college in Myanmar. So for our knowledge, ask about the slide number 56. Slide number 56 is regarding about the graduate attribute, and I saw the weight percentage for the program. So is there any guideline from for Washington Accord for graduate attribute for that program? For example, sometimes I saw some attribute, I saw the 10%, 20%, 7%. Is any guideline for the program?
Yes, there's no so-called guidelines in terms of the graduate attributes. It's a set of it's a guideline, but then in terms of standards, there's no so-called how many percentages fail or pass. Each program can design its weighting for each of the graduate attributes. But then the point is that all of your students must meet must be meeting the requirements set by the programs.
And also, there will be the KPI for the program. For example, every school mentioned in the red color.
Yes.
Some program may be 65, some may be 50, some program may be 70. So there is also similar answer for the selection of KPI within the program.
Yeah. Again, in terms of the scoring, for example, in Taiwan, 60 marks, fail or not fail. If that's the case, then all of your students supposed to meet 60. And then if some of your student group do not meet 60, what will you be doing to rectify that problem? That will be the second part of the accreditation process. That's okay if your student do not meet the standards, but then what do you do as a program to ratify or to provide additional training or have additional requirements for the students to comply that requirements?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Me question online participant.
Any colleagues from online that you have questions for us? If there's anything unclear or you need additional information, please do not hesitate to ask.
Please, online participant question. According to Agenda 8, I would like to invite Uttalat to give appreciation card. According to Agenda 9, I would like to invite Sia Utenle to deliver their closing remarks.
Very good afternoon. I won't take long. As Dr. Mandy and Professor Liu's delivery has by itself comprehensive, I have requested to share their presentations with the audience so that we can do follow-up. As usual, after a week, we will have assessments on today delivery, and then we will continue for certification. Our training series was started back on 14. Yeah, started back on 14 as usual. We will post the advertisement on our website. Please check. And thank you very much for being together with us and together in the journey towards engineering education accreditation. The MES Academy, will work hard as much as we can for the capacity building of our future evaluators and assessors. One thing to clarify, what MES has been doing, what MES Academy has been doing with these training series is capacity building. We are not certifying evaluator and assessor, but we are helping them build their capacity, their professional competency to qualify as certified evaluator and assessor. We have guidelines from Myanmar Engineering Council, the regulatory and statutory body, to have assessments on our recommendations. We will give recommendation of the qualified evaluator and assessor, and they will do assessment, preliminary assessment and advanced assessment, so that the qualified ones can be satisfied. That the information I would like to share with you from MES Academy. Now our president is back. I would like to request the president to deliver the closing remark. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed IEET experts, distinguished guests, and dedicated participants. As we draw the sessions to the close, I am filled with a deep sense of appreciation for the rich discussion and valuable insights shared today. It has been a day marked by profound learning and mutual exchange, and I am immensely grateful to each of you for your active participation and commitment. Today, we have delved into the crucial roles of evaluators and assessors in engineering education accreditation. The expertise and experiences shared by the IEET experts have not only enlightened us but also equipped us with the necessary tools to elevate our practices to international standards. This knowledge is invaluable as we strive to enhance the quality of our engineering engineering programs and ensure our graduates are prepared to meet both today's demands and tomorrow's challenges. I want to extend a special thanks you to our friends and partners from the Institute of Engineering Education, Taiwan. Your collaboration has been instrumental in making this event a success, and your ongoing support is crucial as we continue to advance our educational goals at MES Academy. To all participants, your engagement today has helped lay the foundation for what I hope will be ongoing dialogue and cooperation. The journeys towards excellence in engineering education is a continuous one, and it is through sessions like this that we can truly make a difference. As we conclude, I encourage you all to carry forward the knowledge and insights gained today back to your respective roles. Let us apply what we have learned with dedication and drive and rigor, ensuring the continuous improvements of our educational practice. Thank you once again for joining us at these sessions. I look forward to our future collaborations and to the next steps we will take together towards educational excellence. Safe travels to all, and I hope to see you again soon at our next gathering, where we will continue to build on the solid foundation established today. Thank you and good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of the participants for attending face-to-face and online, and Dr. Melu and Dr. Mandy for valuable presentation. Well, it has been a very enjoyable and informative 2 hours that we have passed. Even though we may be able to continue with such energy and enthusiasm, according to the agenda, I would like to announce that our webinar is successfully finished. Thank you very much to all of you.
Peter.